All right, for those of you who want the real-time Fox take on this, here's the outnumbered show with Harris Faulkner. Four of the people, there's always 4 women and 1 man. 3 of the women are basically die-in-the-wool Trump supporters, including Harris Faulkner. And I can't stand this broad. And then you're going to have Julie Rogensky. She's the lone Democrat that's going to be, I guess, taking up the Donald Trump is a rat bastard, and he should have taken more questions line. This is going to go approximately 17 minutes, so just prepare yourself.
Fox News alert. He says he did not start this. Donald Trump in the latest war of words with Hillary Clinton over the issue of President Obama's birthplace. He says it was Clinton who started the so-called birther issue back in 2008.
Now that was a lie, okay? The truth of the matter is it was a Clinton supporter out of the Texas congregation that went to the Democratic convention that basically started this thing, okay? It was a woman, as a matter of fact, and it was at the tail end of the Clinton campaign in 2008. She shot out tweets and emails questioning Barack Obama's birthplace. It was then picked up by someone who went on Sean Hannity's show, and that's where it started. From that point, Donald Trump picked it up, and that's what thrust him onto the national conscience, where before he was basically just a New York entity. Here we go.
That he was the one who finally got the president to release his birth certificate. This is...
Now that was true. He did get Obama to release his birth certificate. And then for the next 2 to 3 years, he was claiming that the birth certificate was a forgery.
Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner. Here today, Sandra Smith, co-host of After the Bell, Melissa Francis, Democratic strategist Julie Rogensky. Today's hashtag One Lucky Guy, Judge Alex Ferrer, up from Florida, bringing the sunshine. It is outnumbered today. Hello on a fine Friday.
Great to be back here with you. Thank you for the invitation.
A bit of breaking news from both sides of the political aisle going into it, so we'll start. Okay. Let's begin with a fierce war of words between the candidates on the birther issue, continuing at dueling events a short time ago in our nation's capital. A day after Trump's campaign said Mr. Trump now believes the president was born on American soil. The candidate himself says it was Clinton during her first run of the White House who started all of it, but that he was the one who brought the issue to an end.
Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther controversy.
That was a lie, and it's been fact-checked by PolitiFact and everybody else. So that is a lie.
I finished it.
That is another lie, because you continued to push it after the president issued his birth certificate as late as January of 2016.
I finished it. You know what I mean. President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period. Now we all want to get back to making America strong and great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, we all have questions that you are going to run off that stage and not answer.
Thank you.
Earlier in D.C., Hillary Clinton laid into Donald Trump, saying he owes President Obama an apology, and the American people as well, for his embrace of the birther movement in the first place.
He does owe Obama an apology. He forced Obama's kids to have to listen to this bullshit for the last 6 years. So at least to Obama, if you don't feel like the American people deserve an apology, he should at least give Obama an apology, his wife an apology, and his kids an apology for putting them through this bullshit.
Know who Donald is.
For 5 years, he has led the birther movement to delegitimize our first black president. His campaign was founded on this outrageous lie. There is no erasing it in history. He is feeding into the worst impulses, the bigotry and bias that lurks in our country.
You know, you might say that those are akin to closing statements. You are the expert on the couch. You've seen so many of that sort of thing. Does this put it to bed?
Well, I think it definitely puts it to bed. But at first when I heard he was going to give this speech about the whole birther issue, I thought, what are you doing? You know, you've got momentum going. Why do you want to pull the rug out from under the?
He got your attention, didn't he?
He totally did. When I finished watching it, I thought it was a really smart move because he kept everybody waiting.
Genius.
Then he had basically an infomercial about Donald Trump with all these speakers ahead of him just to come out and say, she started it, which, by the way, Politico wrote an article about the birth of the birther movement and said it did start with Clinton supporters.
Right.
Right. Not with the Clinton campaign, with Clinton supporters out of Texas. And I don't have to tell you how people in Texas basically want to latch on to stuff and what, even being Democrat, how they lean towards minorities.
And he said, you know, he basically turned it into something that everybody would watch about him.
So I mean, it just didn't start and end that way. It actually was all about those generals. I mean, look at the power of the people on that stage, Sandra. And then he got into it, and I mean, it was like a minute.
Wait, hold on. I have to seize this moment because Julie's been shaking her head the entire time.
Right, Julie?
And you might be the first person after that to say it wasn't
on air right now. First of all, this was akin to my suddenly saying to everybody right now, everything that I've said for the last several years on this couch, I take back. I think Donald Trump is great. Let me take off my mic and walk out of here. I think you would all have some questions about that if I were to suddenly completely change my tune, right? You wouldn't.
Well, we would follow you.
Yeah, you would follow me out there.
We'd want to know what was going on.
Just do exactly right.
Exactly. And the reporters had questions, and they wanted to follow him out, but that wasn't going to be allowed. And he wasn't taking any questions.
Do a walkout. I have some answers. Why is President Obama suddenly now somebody who's a natural born citizen? Secondly, excuse me, there's no evidence whatsoever, and I would love somebody to provide it, that Hillary Clinton or anybody affiliated with her campaign, including Mark Penn, but this is what he said.
Wait, but Julie, go back to the question. Was this effective on the part of Donald
But let me just finish my point and then I'll answer that question. There's no evidence that anybody on the Clinton campaign said that he was not a natural born citizen and therefore ineligible to serve.
Oh.
Third of all, was it effective? No, because many of us have questions. Everybody should have questions. This is not going to put to bed 5 years of completely horrific statements on his
two
part.
things, George. Let me jump in here for 1 second. According to Telegraph article back in April of 2008, it was a Hillary Clinton supporter who passed around an email that questioned where Barack Obama, then candidate, was born. So that's how. And so then the question becomes, does it even matter? All of that. Brian Fallon with her campaign has just weighed in on this in a tweet, saying this: Trump doubled down on a lie-filled statement from his campaign last night and took no responsibility for his bigoted attacks on our president. So we've got that on the screen right now. Judge, your reaction.
Okay, this is why I disagree with you, Julie, because yes, there is no evidence and there never will be evidence that it was campaign generated, but the American public knows how politicians play these games. They know that they start a rumor, they get it going, and then the politician gets out there and goes, well, I don't know if that's true, but if people are saying...
See, this is a perfect example of somebody that's in the Trump campaign. Now, this guy, all of a sudden, now he's got to find a way to try to substantiate what Trump said as far as Hillary Clinton starting this. He's going to try to throw it on her like she planted it and had one of her supporters run with this thing. That's a crock of bullshit.
It should be investigated, and then they take the high road.
Nobody cares.
Oh, yes, they do. No, nobody cares about any of these issues. They don't care about who started it and who finished it. All it is there's a headline. We were forced to watch for like an hour and a half.
Right.
People stand out there and endorse Trump. Then he walked up and said, of course the president was born here, and dropped the mic and walked out the stage.
So,
it was political.
And let's get back to
genius.
What does Hillary Clinton's campaign do now? I just read the statement from Brian Fallon. I want to get your reaction to it. Judge? I just read it a moment ago. I want to get your reaction to it. Brian Fallon from the campaign is saying that he doubled down. on what he said last night.
I don't think he doubled down. He did the opposite. He specifically said
it's over.
he is the president, was born in America. That's over. Let's move on.
What changed his mind?
What does Hillary do now?
No, but seriously, six years, I'm sorry, but close to 6 years, or 5 years of him saying the president was not born here, of sending investigators to Hawaii to search out the truth, of implying the president is a foreign citizen who's sent here as a man.
What is next from Hillary Clinton?
I'd like some answers.
All the candidates change their mind, and nobody.
Change your mind.
They do it all
based
the
on
time.
what? No. Judge,
President
Judge,
Obama and Hillary
Judge,
Clinton changed their mind on gay marriage, and he said, "Well, my opinion is wrong."
One person.
Wait, stop. No. In 2011, he produced his birth certificate as recently as 2014 and 15. Donald Trump is still pushing this discredited theory. What has changed?
So I don't think I'm going to get an answer from you on what Hillary will do next, but I want to talk about 2011, because in 2011, Trump said, I am really honored, frankly, to have played such a big role in hopefully getting rid of this issue. He said, today I'm very proud of myself because I've accomplished something nobody else has been able to do, and that was get the president to release it.
Julie,
do you want me to read you quote after quote and tweet after tweet of his well after 2011, 2012, 2014?
But you brought up 2011 and this issue of the birth certificate. Donald Trump takes responsibility.
Excuse me.
Well, credit for it.
No. But in 2011, what? That he got Barack Obama to release his.
Hold on, but let's talk about right now.
Legitimized
Julie,
in 2013, 14. He never legitimized.
Julie, talk about now.
Yes.
What is important for the American voter? Should Hillary Clinton, to Harris's question, moving forward, should she stay on this? Voters don't see this as an important issue for them.
For national security. An important issue?
I'm not saying.
There's a lot of voters that think it's an important issue, and they're called African Americans and probably Hispanic Americans and probably Muslims as well. So there's quite a few people that think it was an important issue for Donald Trump to denigrate the first African American president. So, you're taking a Fox line here. You're trying to downplay this.
It's not an
I'll
important
tell you
issue.
who
Voters do not see this as an
let me
important
tell you who
issue
does.
at this moment. Does Hillary Clinton, should she stay on it?
I disagree with that premise. You know who sees this as a...
The African American.
The African American.
Yeah, which is why he said she started it.
All right,
100%.
so wait. I have to get in here with this question. The birther issue was also brought up about Ted Cruz. He's a Canadian.
That's why I
let me
disagree
finish.
with.
Yeah, and how long did that birther issue last as far as Ted Cruz was concerned? Damn near no time whatsoever.
Why is it racist with Barack Obama and not with Ted Cruz? Why does it get to that point when you brought up the same, not you personally, but I mean when the same issue was brought up in the primaries about Ted Cruz?
That's what I was saying when they keep saying he's bigoted. When he says in that statement he's doubling down on his bigoted statement. Why is it bigoted? He's challenging whether he was born in the U.S. He challenged whether Ted Cruz could run for president.
Exactly.
It's not bigoted.
So Julie, take it away.
I'll tell you why. Because Ted Cruz actually was not born in the United States. He was born in Canada. Now, whether he's eligible
he's a Canadian.
eligible to run or not is a different issue. But when you have the first African American president who's challenged on whether he is a natural-born citizen because his name happens to be Barack Hussein Obama,
But that wasn't
and not
why.
George Bush or Bill Clinton. Excuse me.
but that's
why did he choose Obama? Why didn't he choose Bush or Clinton?
Why? According to the supporter, remember how they had that Puma movement? One of the words in that, it was, people who were upset about how it had gone between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and it ends in a bad word, that acronym for Puma, so I won't say what it means. But that movement and those supporters they were pushing this issue, and some of her supporters were asking, based on the birth of his father, based on other, it wasn't just his name.
Excuse me.
But it go back to, why does it apply here and not somebody like Ted
because
Cruz?
some random
You're right. It wasn't just his name. It was the fact that he was black.
supporter, who's a Puma, whatever that stands for, whoever these random people are not running to become the president of the United States. He has become a national political figure on the back of this issue. Donald Trump was a reality show star.
I thought the wall. That's why he's
How did he first get into the political consciousness? Well before the wall. It was because of this issue back in 2010, 2011. And that's exactly how he became.
I'm still not hearing whether or not, if you were advising Hillary Clinton today, would you advise her after Donald Trump just came out?
Yes.
and dropped the mic on this
Didn't
issue.
drop the mic.
He did.
For many
Said it's
people, he
over.
did, Julie.
what-
No,
what should
on
she
both
do
sides of the
next?
aisle.
I'm sorry,
What
but
should
let's
she
be
do
very.
next?
she
Let's
should-
move forward.
She should ask questions. We should all ask questions. Any journalist, I don't care what your
But then
political
she-
persuasion, should ask questions.
Can I say something,
What made
please?
you change your mind today? Why today? Why not
She's
yesterday?
I think we're gonna hear what
responding.
she should
First
do
of all,
next.
I would love it if she did that because that's not a good strategy because she's just sitting there responding to him again. Yip, yip, yip at him, responding to him, responding to him, responding to him. She's losing that game.
You know what?
She wasn't responding to him, okay? He was responding to the pressure that he was getting across the board, okay? So she's just pushing the point. She's not responding to him.
She's not talking about anything going
Trust me.
forward. When you're responding, you always say this, when you're responding to the other candidate,
He's
you're
responding.
losing.
He's
when
responding.
When you're going forward with your ideas, you're winning.
I agree with Julie on this because I think that if Hillary focuses on this, she tries to take, and the media will probably go right along with her. She'll try to take the focus off of her recent problems, and she's been the brunt of all the negative talk lately. And this is
Guys,
would be an
I'm sorry.
attempt
Let
to
me
do that.
just go back.
This really is a non-issue for
Let's
voters.
take off our nonpartisan hat. Let's our partisan hats for a second. If I were literally to sit here right now and say everything that I've said previously about Donald Trump, I take back. I think he'd make America great again. I'm voting for Donald Trump. Would everybody on this couch
That's not what he's
would
saying
anybody on this
about
couch?
Obama.
Would anybody on this
That's not what
couch
he's saying.
not 100%, 180%? 180-degree turn from what I had said previously.
But that's actually
Would you
not what he's
faulty-
saying.
It's a faulty analogy. That's not what he's
He
saying.
previously said Obama was not born here. He's now saying Obama was born here. Tell me why you believe
He
that,
also
Donald Trump.
previously took credit for the fact that the president put out his birth certificate.
years later-
took credit for that and said that he now believed that he was born in the United States.
Not
and then he
until
said
today.
it again today.
Not until today.
So why is that not okay?
Not until
He
today.
said he's honored to have played such a big role in hopefully getting rid of this issue. That was 2011, the year that you brought up.
And then 2012, 2014, 13, 2014.
Right.
There's
So I
quote
would
after
tweet from
quote.
2013 as well. Donald J. Trump. I'm just putting this out there
Go
so
ahead.
you know it's there. In 2013, March 22nd, he retweeted this. Honestly, who gives a blank? More bad language, sorry. Where Obama was born, it's where he lives now that's the problem. And then that was parenthetical. Donald Trump added interesting several exclamation points. So he was ready to move on at
No,
that
he
point.
wasn't. Harrison, you were cherry picking tweets. I can retweet and I will during the next commercial
No,
break.
no, no. I'm
Five or
just
six-
showing you some of the facts that are out there.
5 or 6 or 7 tweets subsequent to 2011 where he questioned the president's place
All right.
of birth.
No, let me
So
just- let me
again
just-
to
I
move
don't think-
forward, Judge, excuse me, what should Hillary Clinton do
Hillary
now?
Clinton and the rest of us should demand answers. What made you change your mind about where President Obama was born? Why do you say today something you've been on?
And why is that important?
And what's the goal? What's the goal?
The goal is to have somebody answer a question legitimately. You have delegitimized this president because you have said consistently
No, he hasn't.
you're not eligible to be president of the United States because of the fact that you're not a natural born citizen. You have failed in the constitutional test.
So he
I
says-
have believed that for years. Today,
say that.
today, I think that is not the case any longer. Every time he said he wasn't born here, that's how.
So he says now my opinion on that has evolved, like Hillary Clinton's and Barack Obama's on other issues.
Because if you're saying the president of the United States,
Because all my cherry picking, as you call it, is in several pages here. Let me
if you're
find
saying
it.
the president of the United States was not born in this country, you're a lawyer, so you know this. You're inherently saying he's unconstitutionally eligible. He's constitutionally unqualified and ineligible to be the president of the United
All right.
States.
I will
Is
give
that
you
not what
this
you're
one.
saying?
Yes.
And
I
that's
will
what
give
he's
you
been
this
saying for
one.
years.
Donald Trump retweeted this on November 2014. On the 23rd, Obama also fabricated his own birth certificate after being pressured to produce one.
There you go. 2 years later.
So I mean, Judge, where do we go with this?
I really don't think the public cares. I do agree with Julie
There you
that the
go.
African American community does care about this issue, and he threw it back onto Hillary's lap by saying it was started by the Hillary supporters, but I don't think the public cares about this issue anymore. That's why I thought he was making a
50,
mistake.
what are we, 53 days out from the election, and you think that Hillary Clinton should stay focused on this after Donald Trump just said,
yes.
that's
I will
it?
tell you why.
He was
If
born
you're-
here,
I think they would love that.
Get the focus off her, that's why.
If you're an African American, I'm not speaking for all African Americans, but people who I know.
I'm one. I'm here.
Fine, okay, well, I'm not speaking for you. You can speak for yourself. But there are people who truly believe that he was delegitimizing this man because of the fact that he was an African
And
American.
they would never vote for him, and they will never vote.
One thing is for sure, as you got me to dig through my notes here, he has gone back and forth. And is that part of the previous discipline that people were
Okay,
calling?
but Julie, should we start laundry listing how many times a candidate has evolved
just
in
asking about
this
Donald
election
now.
season?
But this is a fundamental.
That's not called evolving, okay? Evolving is you have different facts that you are looking at which cause you to change your mind. Trump's had the same facts for the last 5 years. So that's not evolving. That's basically coming off of a lie that you've been pushing for the past 5 years.
No, this is not an evolution where I had one view of policy, now I have a different one.
Oh, okay, so where should we begin with Hillary Clinton? I'm for the Keystone Pipeline?
That's
No, I'm
my
not.
point.
Where do we begin?
That's policy evolution. This is a fundamental test. You, Donald Trump, have said for many years that this man is unqualified constitutionally to be the president of the United States.
Just out of the recent news flow that I would ask, our Jennifer Griffin asked Hillary Clinton in that meeting last Friday, how are your allergies? The response was, better, good,
Right.
not I have pneumonia. We didn't find that out till Sunday night. Was that a
There goes Harris. She had to shift the conversation from Trump over to Clinton.
shift? Was that a change?
That was a huge mistake, and I said that on the
okay.
day. I said from day one that she mishandled it entirely. She should have been more forthcoming.
Is that an issue in this campaign?
Her health?
Yeah.
Yes.
She should release her medical records. So should Donald
Well,
Trump.
and the fact that she lies about a lot.
All right, so everybody's in agreement with
Not
that.
just that she lies about it, she lied to her daughter about it, or she didn't tell her daughter she had pneumonia, she didn't tell the vice president she had pneumonia.
How do you know she didn't tell her that?
Her husband
daughter
thinks she
said
has
she
the
didn't know
flu,
about
by
it.
the way.
It was on record.
So now it goes from not telling somebody, that becomes a lie? Yeah, really.
No, I mean, seriously,
Sandra?
either she told her daughter and her daughter lied about it, or she didn't tell her own daughter she had pneumonia.
Listen, I'm not.
mean, that's just
I'm not defending her.
amount.
I'm not defending her on what the health episode. I
Right.
think that was a ridiculous
So,
version.
Sandra-
but going back to the birther issue, that's a very different.
So we,
Here's the point that I was trying to get at. I mean, both these candidates obviously have gone back and forth on different issues, but everybody seems to agree that this most recent one with Hillary Clinton is one that voters are paying
But
attention
go back to what just happened, and Donald Trump stepped up to that podium after we heard from military leaders,
Genius.
war veterans, unbelievable, held the press captive, stepped up to that podium and said a couple sentences, cleared the air, period, walked off the stage.
Yep.
Okay, he held everybody captive for 30 minutes, said a couple of sentences, which didn't clear the air. You're wrong on that, okay? And then he walked off the stage. There are a ton of questions people have for him. So as far as him clearing the air, no, he did not do that.
All I'm asking is, was that effective politically, Julie? And I still haven't heard
It
the
was
response.
not effective politically for the reason I
Yes,
said.
it
It's
was.
going to continue the discussion.
Nope, it's not.
Look, I guarantee you, tomorrow, everybody will still be talking
Have
about
the
it.
independents look
Oh,
at
yes,
this.
they will. Oh, yes, they will.
Okay.
Because we know that
It
people who
was political
support
genius.
Donald Trump will
Political
say it's
genius.
genius. People who support Hillary Clinton will say it's not effective. But what about that chunk of independents out there? Real quickly, and we'll move on.
Okay, I'm an independent myself. I
That's bullshit. You are not an independent. You're a Trump supporter.
frankly dislike both parties quite a bit, but I don't care about the birther issue. I thought it was a huge mistake for him to do this. When I heard he was doing this, they were like, he's just self-destructing. And then when I watched it turn into a Donald Trump infomercial, and I knew everybody was watching because everybody was
Right.
waiting to see what's he
train
actually
wreck.
going to announce. Everybody got to hear the generals. Everybody got to hear everybody talking him
Wait,
up.
train
And then he
wreck.
walked out and said, yeah, of course he was born in the U.S. That's it. But Hillary started it, and I ended it.
You know why?
Okay, hold on. Last word with the judge. Was it effective as an independent?
Yes, I think it was
All right,
effective.
we'll move on.
Do you need a glass of water, Julie? It's been a long time.
No, it's not a glass of water. I,
She needs an IV.
I need an IV to like get me out of the situation where somebody's just not telling the truth consistently.
Whoa.
No,
Says the
It was
Hillary
Donald
supporter.
Trump. Give me a break. Tell me why, Donald Trump. Tell me why you now changed
right.
your mind.
More potentially
Exactly. Tell us why you changed your mind, and I'm willing to bet you that he is never going to answer that particular question. Anyway, that was the Fox outnumbered outlook on this whole thing.